a state of love, bonding, trust, real friendship.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda if this is your first time here, and welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Absolutely. New hair. I'll post on my TikTok the details, but I tried. This is a mix of 4, 27, and 30, and then the actual extensions are 30, I want to say. I will double check that. But anyways, how have you guys been? Recent videos, I posted a video talking about the Grammys, which actually went very, very well. For once, what a surprise. I know, I'm shocked too. If you would like to follow me on social media, here is my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok. Also a plug for my Patreon. We're currently reading Kindred for this month's book club, which I'm very excited to read. I haven't read it since I was in 8th grade, I believe. And also there may or may not be a giveaway for Cowboy Carter tickets on my Patreon. I don't know. It might be happening. But anyways, you can definitely join. I post vlogs on there. I recently went to Mexico City, so I'm editing a Mexico City vlog to post on there. I talk all my shit on there, and there's a book club on there, and I play The Sims on there. So lots of fun stuff on my Patreon if you would like to check it out. But today, we are here. I'm very late. There are 2 shows that I'm very late on doing. Arcane season 2 is coming. I need to rewatch it because it has been like a month, 2 months since I watched it, and it pissed me off so bad that I was like, I'm not engaging with this for a little bit, but now I've forgotten what actually happened. But the show that we're here to talk about today is another show that I'm late to record this video on, is The Sex Life of College Girls season 3. This is my show. These are my girls. These my queens. These my girls. We have grown up together. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about. This hair is gonna get in my way. So you guys are seeing it all pretty and down. It might be up by like minute 5 of this video because I hate having my hair down. Cora also wants to join the party because there is a light shadow behind me. Those are Cora's demons, and he likes to chase them very, very frequently. Anyways, rewatching this season of The Sex Life of College Girls. First of all, it was a good season. I loved it. I know a lot of the girls didn't want to fully tune in because Renee Rapp wasn't there. And I understand, however, I think the show is still as good. I think Renee Rapp definitely added something like special and unique to the show, but I also think that the show is doing well without her. I also think there are other characters in the show who also deserve your attention, and they're going through really tremendous character arcs. That's something that I just noticed about this whole season in general. The season made me, first of all, realize how long the show has been on. It's been on since my very first year of med school, and I'm in my 4th year now, and it makes me, watching this season has made me want to rewatch it because these girls have been through so much, and they've grown and they've changed so much. It's like I've grown and changed with them. Like, I think back to the first video I made about this show was, yeah, my fall semester of 1st year med school. I don't recognize that person. I don't know who that person is. She's very proud of me and I'm very proud of her, but like, we are 2 completely different people. And if you watch this show, season 1 Bella and season 3 Bella, just as an example, are 2 completely different people entirely, and it's so honestly beautiful to watch. So you know how this works by now. If you don't know how this works, when I talk about television shows, I go character by character, and I don't really have any organization. I just like go by feelings, and I just talk about them for a X period of time. That's what usually happens in my videos. And I'm doing my everyday makeup look. I posted on TikTok, if you're curious, my favorite products to use for sweat-proof and mask-friendly makeup. It's like pinned at the top of my TikTok because I wear a mask everywhere I go, as you should too, to protect yourself and the health of others. But a lot of times makeup really transfers and really gets on my nerves. So I'm gonna be showing you a foundation combination today that I figured out that works really, really, really well. Like, lasted me throughout hot ass Mexico City, and it was brilliant. All right, back to why we're actually, do you see what I have to live with? Do you see what I have to live with? It's chaos every single day. And part of that sweatproof makeup routine is using the one size powder to set here, but because I'm not leaving my house, I'm not gonna do that today. Anyways, the first character up is Canaan. I have like 3 things to say about Canaan during this season 3, and one of them is not very nice, and then the other one is kind of nicer. So I am growing in terms of being nice to men. I really am. The first thing I have to say is he didn't apologize to Whitney until episode 6. Episode 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how many episodes. 6 30-minute episodes. Sorry, I don't need to be like slamming my hand. Is how long it took Canaan to apologize to Whitney for the absolute malfeasance that he put her through. Now, was I team Canaan and Kimberly? I was team Canaan with nobody on the show. I was team Canaan with nobody on the show because it seems that Canaan needs to work on his own things, because let's discuss, if you hurt somebody that you claim to care about, because now we're back in the Canaan and Whitney arc, which I'll get to that in a second, because I don't have the opinion that you think I'll do. That's gonna be I think the trend of this whole video is me not having the opinions that I saw a lot of other people having, which is common practice with me in my videos. So what was my point? I'm finding it. Anyways, I didn't find it. She's lost. But not apologizing until, I was talking about, I'm not team Kimberly and Canaan. I don't think that. I think they had chemistry back in season 2. I don't think they had chemistry in this season, and it's very clear. I'm wondering if they were like, don't have any more chemistry because we're doing fan service, and the fans were really, really upset at that, and so they got rid of it. But I will say that Canaan looks really nice this season. It's not that I didn't see it for him before, because I can see, but he looks really extra nice this season, and I take issue with that, because how are you going to look better when you're engaging in even more foolishness? I just think taking 6 episodes to apologize is out of this world. I think that is out of this world, and I think you're a bad person. Him and Kimberly, that was never gonna last long. Like, even that plot line, I wasn't necessarily mad at it. I thought nobody needed to hurt Whitney in the process. Like, you guys could have done that without hurting Whitney, but they chose to do it that way, and that's where I take issue. However, I wasn't necessarily like super upset or angry. I definitely did not think Canaan and Whitney, I did not think they were necessarily any better together than Kimberly and Canaan were, but I was more upset at how the situation happened. But we all saw how that pretty much fizzled into nothingness because of our audience reaction to that coupling, and they basically said, okay, we're actually going to ignore that we ever did that, and we're gonna move on in one single episode. So that's Canaan. Next up, we have Lila. Amazing, breathtaking, hilarious. I loved her I love how she got like a little episode. I'm hoping that as this show continues on, which needs to happen, so you guys need to tune back in. I can't have what happened to the Wild happen to this show. If you don't know what the Wild is, because Wild, you know what the Wild is because of what happened to it. It was a show about, it's like, I watched The Wilds before Yellow Jackets. I don't know which show came first, so I can't say like who stole whose idea. But basically crash landing on an island, blah, 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 blah. In the first season, it was a bunch of girls. Second season, they introduced boys on an island, which, you know, did we need that? No, but it's what we got. And then people refused to watch it because they introduced an island of boys, and then the show got canceled. So you lost the girls too. That's what happened. Nobody wanted to use their brain and recognize that if you boycott the show because they added boys, you no longer get the girls either. You no longer get the girls either. So that was really definitely an interesting choice. And how did it work out for you guys? Anyways, I don't want that to happen. So I need you guys to tune in to season 3 because it was actually very, very good. And I'm going to tell you why. But back to Lila. She be saying anything, and you know, I think she almost got Kimberly in trouble, but the thing is, Kimberly is Kimberly, and I can't blame anybody else's for Kimberly's the way that her brain works. Like Lila told her like you have to be like adventurous in the bedroom, and she bought a strap. That's what Kimberly chose to do. I don't think I can blame Lila for Kimberly taking what she said and running with it. However, as Kimberly's friend, I feel like Lila should know that Kimberly often takes things and runs with them, and so maybe should be a little bit more cautious about the advice that she gives the advice that she gives Kimberly. But that's not, cautious is not really in Lila's vocabulary. Cautious is not really in Lila's vocabulary. So if I'm not gonna expect too much from Kimberly, I can't expect too much from Lila either. I gotta be fair. So that's her. Loved her. I hope in this new season we get another sort of plot line. I do like, people were talking about, and I was a person saying this as well, like why we got a couple new characters, like why wasn't Lila promoted to a main character, and why did I add so much of that foundation on my hand? Wasted product. And I said that too at first because I saw where they're coming from. However, I also think, because I saw people making this point, and as I rewatched the show to make this video, I really do agree with it. Part of what makes Lila so funny is how mysterious she is and how little we know about her character. I do think how they're having her be in it a little bit more. Like they hung out with her, they went to her fashion show, she was in their dorm room at a point, which it hadn't happened before. I like that, having her be more present on the show. But I don't necessarily think she needs to be living with them, because a part of Lila's like allure is how we don't know much about her. We don't know what Lila gets up to outside of sips. She pops in, is fabulous, and then pops back out. And I have to respect that, as that is my goal in life, but I'm not nonchalant enough for that. I'm just not. Look at me. Look at my apartment. I'm not nonchalant enough for that whatsoever. So this combination on my face, which is my holy grail, discovered it completely by accident, based on me rushing to pack from Mexico City. Urban Decay Face Bond, Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. Try it. Look at my face. Look at my face. If you own these two products, go try it. If you own one of these products, I would even say go buy the other, but you really don't have to. Like, the reason why I recommend it is because the finish of this, plus the long wear and transfer proof ability of this, when you mix them together, meet in the middle, dance all night, it will rock your fucking world. If you want to go on my TikTok and see, I fell asleep. I took a very long nap while wearing this combination, and I woke up like 6 hours later. If you want to see what my face looked like after that and wearing a mask for half the day and walking around Mexico City heat, you should do that. Cora. Oh, that's not even Cora. Zuko. Mommy's filming a video. Is it the time? I'm just gonna talk louder. But anyways, that is Lila. Next up, we have Taylor, our new girl, our new character. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about her. Also, I am back on the Pat McGrath concealer train. This concealer costs like $1 bajillion. Literally $1 bajillion, but it is worth every single fucking penny. Every single penny is worth it. It is like a beautiful, like medium to full coverage concealer, but looks so much like skin. I don't even know why I put this down. Once I picked it back up again, I was like, there is no reason I ever put this back down. And I've been using it every single day since, because it really is the best of every single world. Back to Taylor, guys. I don't know. I can't get a good read on her. I don't understand her. She's messy but not messy. She's messy but predictable. She's messy but boring. And you know I can't stand a boring mess. Like, if you're gonna be a mess, you gotta be like Bella. Bella is a mess, a disaster, and she is not boring. She is not boring. She couldn't be boring even if she tried on her best day. Bella could not be boring. Taylor is like the opposite, and I guess they wanted to trade like one mean blonde lesbian for another mean blonde lesbian, but Renee had like, what is that word? Heart to her. Like, Leighton had heart to her, and we really, like, she was a mean blonde lesbian the whole time, but we didn't know that about her until the end of season 1. And with Taylor, it's kind of like what you see is what you get, and there's no more depth to her, at least not that I have seen in that one season. And she was in this season for a considerable amount of time. She wasn't a main character, but she wasn't no side character either, because a lot of her storylines were intertwined with Bella's. Do I think that there's a little like love whatever going on there? I don't see it. Like like if we wanted to take like two people being in the same room all the time and have that equate to like a love triangle, I guess if we wanted to have that be our metric for a love triangle, I could see where you're coming from, but that's personally not my metric for a love triangle. This, I personally liked, I liked Bella's RA plot line a lot, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Taylor being in it, I was pretty indifferent towards. We found out a lot, her lore, like relatively early on. Like she had so many plot lines. Mean Taylor bullying Bela the RA. Then we find out that she has alcohol use disorder. Then she's in love with her straight roommate. Then she goes to gay speed dating and then finds love and then thinks about relapsing but doesn't relapse. It's very sporadic, very like a lot of storylines for a side character, a lot of storylines for a brand new character, and a lot of storylines for a character who is not really a part of the core 4. She's just kind of there to annoy the core 4. She's there to annoy Bela at first, but then eventually tries to start living in with the core 4. It makes no sense. So I'm just not sure like where she fits in because, oh, I forgot to do my contour because I'm using a new contour today. So I don't know how I feel about her. I don't feel good about her. I don't feel bad about her. Am I interested to see where she goes? I'm not sure, because I really feel like they were like, okay, we need another mean blonde lesbian, and they just threw every possible storyline for a mean blonde lesbian into this season. And were they good? Not particularly. Like her character, to me, her character is not very compelling. And we learned so much about her. Like she told us a bunch of things that like on paper should make somebody a compelling character. These contours are so nice to play with. I wish I could juggle. There's so many things that they told us about her that are very, very compelling that we found out, but I still don't think her character is very compelling. I'm not enthralled. I don't really want to learn more. Maybe that's for next season to figure out, but she feels very like if her character was like a box. If her character was a box, there'd be a bunch of things just thrown on the walls. That's what her character feels like to me. I have the new Rare Beauty contours. These are contours, they're not bronzers. I have the 3 darkest shades. I have Tranquil, Sublime, and Peaceful. Peaceful is much too dark for me, which is crazy to say. Wow, Sublime and Peaceful are too dark for me, but Tranquil seems a little light. So I'm going to actually, let's see. This is Tranquil. That's not that light. I'm not a contour person. I've been using cream bronzer for the past several. I think the last time I used a contour was Fenty Beauty Matchstick era. Like I don't really contour my face anymore. This is not as light as it appears in the bottle, and I'm my winter shade right now. I look light skin. It's really unsettling to me. So I think I'm only gonna use Tranquil actually, because it's not as cool as the other two. Let me just swatch the other two for you. This is Peaceful. Ooh, this is dark. This is Peaceful. Wow. Wow. You kind of ate that. And then this is Sublime here. And Sublime definitely has like a very purple undertone. These are, there definitely needs to be a shade in between. I'm not sure why there's not a shade in between. These are the 3 darkest shades of the Rare Beauty bronzer. No, Rare Beauty contour, my bad. Absolutely stunning. This is Tranquil, Tranquil, Peaceful, and then Sublime. I'm gonna be using Tranquil on my face. I might take a little bit of Peaceful because I think Tranquil on my face is not going to appear that much darker. So I'm going to take a little bit of Peaceful, like the literal smallest about humanly possible. Like you can't even see what I put on there, and I'm gonna use that to bronze on my face. I always use this Real Techniques brush to add dimension to my face. Let's see. I'm scared because I've been using the Mented cream bronzer forever. Have not used a new product. And I am applying it like a bronzer. I know somebody's gonna yell at me. It's a contour, not a bronzer. You can't apply it like that. I can do whatever I want as long as it looks good. As long as it looks good. Yeah, Tranquil is not as cool toned as the other two. So when I mix it with a little bit of the more cooler tone ones, it definitely adds a little bit more dimension. But I'm personally not a heavy contour girl. Haven't been in like 5, 6, 7 years. Have not been in a very long time. Ooh, this is pretty. This is pretty. That's very pretty. That's very pretty. But let's move on from Taylor because I don't really have anything better or more to really say about her. Next up is Kacey, the newest addition to our Fab Four. When Taylor first came on, I was like, how are y'all gonna make a freshman a part of the Fab Four? I was convinced. I was like, okay, mean lesbian, okay. But no, Kacey. I was very, very, very skeptical of Kacey. I have to be honest. I have to be honest as possible. I was not seeing it for Kacey until like episode 5 or very close to the end of the season. Her whole like virgin thing, I actually liked. I think it's like within the show called The Sex Life of College Girls. It's really important to show like both. We have Bela. We have Bela, and then on the other side of the spectrum we have somebody like Kacey, and I thought it was well done, sort of like her, because it's about the sex life of college girls. It's not about the sexual adventures of college girls, the sex lives of college girls, and being a virgin that was her sex life, and that was her choice as a sex life. Her boyfriend, first of all the men this season, garbage. Every single one. There was not a man this season, not a man this season, not one, who was a decent human being. Every single one of them was terrible. Her boyfriend, the second she was like, I transferred to be with him, I said, it's over. It's not that I'm not in support of doing things like that. I just knew it was coming, because she talked about she transferred from like her dream university to here just for her boyfriend. I'm like, it doesn't seem like her boyfriend wanted you to come. It's transferring schools for a relationship. You're 19 years old. I'm anti that. Sue me. I'm anti that, and for good reason that I'm anti that. Look at what fucking happened. Absolute nonsense. So fuck her boyfriend. You're a menace. Talking about he prayed to God. That's why he can forgive himself, but God can't forgive you. You're not a whore, but she's a whore. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Because I don't want Christians to yell at me. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. He prayed to God. He asked his father, the pastor, for forgiveness, and he doesn't feel bad anymore. He doesn't need to repent for his sins at all. Matter of fact, God told him to go fuck more people. That's what God told him. Didn't y'all hear? That's God's plan. Didn't y'all hear? Then, Kacey's a theater girl. I thought that was really cute. We haven't had a theater girl in college, and theater in college is a whole different beast, but that's not what we're here to talk about right now. I need a really small brush to do this trick that I learned from TikTok about under eye creasing. Let me grab her. Yes. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. Then, so she stops that relationship, and then we get into a relationship with this man named Cooper. So I have to be honest. When I first saw him, I said, fine. I said, not fine as in like he's fine. He's cute. No, on the type of college girls, there is a quota. You have to be a certain level of attractiveness to even be considered, to even be walked into the room if you're a man. All the women are gorgeous as well, but that's a given on pretty much any television show nowadays. It's the men who it's really up in the air if they're gonna be attractive or not. I was like, theater boy. from what I'm, not my own experience, but from the experience, the unfortunate times I've had the experience of having people that I know get in relationships with theater boys, I was scared for my life. And look around, I had every single reason to be afraid. Fuck you, Cooper. Fuck your life. You're never going anywhere. Your theater career is over if I have anything to do with it. And from the way that lighting person took the spotlight off you, nobody else wants your career to succeed either, first of all. So fuck Cooper. But back to the theater thing, the fucking director being an asswipe for no reason, absolutely like hazing her. Can we explore that? I also think that was really interesting, with seeing her relationship with her mom and then the relationship with the director. Her mom, I don't have enough time. This memory card does not have enough space for me to talk about Kacey's relationship with her mother. But I also thought that was really fascinating. Like, in all the ways that Taylor was not a compelling character, Kacey is, because it felt more show, not tell, and Taylor felt more tell, not show. You know, going back to like English class that I was not very good at, but I definitely do remember that. Her relationship, that theater director was trying to literally haze her, I think because she thought she was really good and just I don't know why she didn't want to give her the lead role and wanted to give it to that lady who could not sing a lick. And even self-admitted could not sing a lick. That was definitely a choice. But I liked that plot line for her. I liked her discovering herself, realizing like you do not need a man to be happy. You don't need to be in a relationship, and kind of finding herself on that stage. Because from what she's taught, clearly from, first of all, great casting for the mother. Great casting for the mother. But from interacting with, from seeing her mother and seeing how she kind of came to school, very much like my boyfriend, to her at the end, the spotlight being taken off the man that she wanted to introduce into her life rather quickly, I thought it was really nice and really sweet and a sort of a good end to her arc this season, and really just shows the growth. Like this is the season of growth. This is the season of growth for every single woman on the show, even the literal brand new one. Now with her and Cooper, was she doing a lot, talking about you're gonna meet my mom and blah 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 blah? Yes, but he could have just said something instead of just sitting there like a deer in headlights. How about you use your words? How about you use the words of like, oh, like I'm excited, like I don't know what he could have said, but he could have used his words, used that Essex brain and figured out something instead of sitting there like a deer in headlights and then being like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I break up with you, run away. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Literally anything else could have been done besides what he did, but alas, that's what happened. But I'm thankful for it because he's no good. He is no good. And he did that. Had it even been like 24 hours since they first had sex? Had it even been 24 hours since they had first had sex? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And fuck, I forgot to do blush before powder. I'm just all over the place. With makeup, it's gonna look good regardless. I'm using the s3x Red Velvet. I got this mini one from the holiday collection. It's now a full-size shade, which I'm very happy about. Don't be scared of red blush. It's actually stunning. And these blushes are really malleable that I'm not very worried about putting them over powder. Next up, I'm still gonna include her because she is my sister, is Miss Leighton. Not RIP, because she's gone on to do beautiful and spectacular and brilliant genius things. My sister was too smart for the school. My sister's brain was too big for the Essex math department. She had to go to MIT. My sister's brain was too massive for the wimps at MIT. She was the only one in that math class. They had to cancel it. Nobody could hold a candle to Leighton. And why would they? They didn't even try. They didn't even try. I loved Leighton being a nerd. I'm very glad that Leighton's not here anymore. I do think it's a great loss to the show. I think the show did its best to sort of fill in that gap. If we want to be like very like technical about it, they kind of took like if we wanted to make Leighton's character and sort of like split it into two. They kind of attempted to do that with Kacey and with Taylor, but even as their characters went on, it was clear they weren't trying to replace Leighton, but they sort of like replaced that sort of like that archetype in college with like two different characters, if that makes sense. The only gripe, besides the gripe of her like leaving, which I'm very happy for Renee Rapp, go on and do amazing things. Her album was amazing. I listened to it very frequently, and she wants to sing, and she who am I to tell? I don't own nobody. Y'all don't own nobody either. Y'all love to act like you own somebody and you're people's managers on Twitter. You're sitting on Twitter inside your couch, inside your house. You're nobody's manager. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. The only, besides her leaving, my issue is that Renee Rapp just walked onto that set in her own clothes. I wish we could have gotten, if not a makeover episode, a makeover montage, because she's driving back with Alicia from Europe and it's Renee Rapp wearing Renee Rapp's clothes with Renee Rapp's hair. I think we could have gotten a little montage of Leighton changing her look. I think we could have. I think we could have figured Leighton figuring out herself, went to Europe, traveled around the world with her girlfriend, and figured out her new look, figured out her new aesthetic, and got nothing. And I deeply resent that. I have to be honest. I deeply resent that, and I mourn what could have been Leighton rediscovering her own aesthetic and not what aesthetic was put on her since birth. I have to be honest. I have to be honest, and I have to speak my truth, and that is my truth. We miss you, Leighton. We really, really do. I really, really do. She was such a good, and this is why I really want to rewatch the show, because I'm like seeing Leighton in those 3 episodes. I'm like, girl, where this girl started. She came in and cursed all them out because she wasn't gonna room with her best friends. Those friends dropping her like that was literally the best thing to happen to her college experience. That was the best, because Leighton would not be Leighton today if those 2 girls didn't treat her like that. It was a blessing in disguise. It's unfortunate that it was literally traumatic and it was bullying, and they didn't have the gumption enough to say, hey, we don't like you and we don't want to be friends with you, instead did it behind her back. But Leighton would have never become the Leighton that we know had she roomed with those girls even for a day. That's why that goodbye scene, oh, I cried, because they helped Leighton discover who she truly was. None of this would have happened. Leighton would have never come out. Leighton and Alicia would have never gotten together, and I do support them. I do like Alicia. I do like Leighton and Alicia. What about it? Be mad. Be mad. Be mad. I hear the boos. I hear the boos. I don't care. Show me anybody else who's better for Leighton. I'll wait. And don't tell me her Barbie twin, because that was a catastrophe. Catastrophe. But we miss you, Leighton. You know, you could come back as like a FaceTime call, you know, like a hey from MIT, like how you guys do. I think that could be cute. I think that could be cute. You know, whatever you want to do. I don't want to act like the girls on Twitter who think they're your manager. I don't want to act like that, but that would make me really happy. I just want to put that out there. You don't have to do it, but it would make me really happy if you did. Where are all of my sprays? I don't know where a single one of my sprays is, so hold please. I will be back once I get my sprays. My sprays have been located. Half of that went on my couch instead of me, that's fine. And we fin. Next up, we have a Kimberly. Kimberly is like a walking cartoon character. Everything that she does, it's like, who writes your life? What is happening up here? I don't know. It's so much yet nothing at the same time. And I do like Kimberly. I do like Kimberly. Was Kimberly dead wrong? Yes. I don't deny that. I don't think anyone could deny that. I don't think Kimberly could deny that. Kimberly was dead fucking wrong. She knows exactly what she did was wrong, and the whole playing dumb, you weren't fooling anybody. You weren't fooling Whitney, you weren't fooling the audience, and you're not fooling God on Judgment Day. That's what's happening, Kimberly. So Kimberly was wrong, but Kimberly is just so goofy, I can't hate her. take me away. I cannot hate her because it's like watching a live action cartoon. What will Kimberly do next? What will Kimberly get herself into? And boy, did we see this season. So let's address the Kimberly and Whitney and the whole like them, Whitney being mad at her and moving into the sorority house and blah, 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 blah. Them becoming friends again that quickly was, or in my opinion, I think it was fan service, because that reaction, including my own reaction, it was not good. I personally did not. I think it could have been not a cute, but like a necessary plot line of like conflict in college. And the girls haven't had much conflict in college in their relationships. And that was to be the first one. And they kind of deaded it almost immediately due to, I think part of it was the fact that Leighton was leaving. And I'm like, to have a major character leave and have this fragmented relationship and like them choosing sides, it was literally just too much. Like it was just too much. That would have been a lot. However, I wonder if they need to have conflict. Like you don't go through 4 years of college with your friends without conflict. And it's also an important thing, like the show, in terms of them growth. None of them had really had to have and really sit in and work through conflict with another peer. So I think I'm sad they didn't get to go through that. I'm sad that they didn't get to experience that. We didn't get to experience them going through that conflict and kind of seeing them learn from it and see them grow from it. But I also understand why they made the choice to do that. I understand, because it would have been too much. It would have been too much. If Whitney was living in that sorority, I can't even talk about that. I can't even talk about what I would have done if all of Whitney's scenes were shot in that sorority house with those scary ass people. I can't even talk about that. So it was fast and it was fan service, but it was fine. I was fine with it. I do think Kimberly could have begged a lot more. I think if they wanted to make it that quick, Kimberly could have been on her knees begging a little bit longer. I think Canaan also should have been begging, apologize, snot-nosed crying. There wasn't enough of that for me. There wasn't enough like begging, pleading. There wasn't enough of that for me. So that's my only gripe. If y'all wanted to do it that fast and get it done that quickly so we could move on, there could have been a little bit more like sobbing. But that's just me. I personally did not want to see that plot line dragged out to hell. I didn't. I was like, I do think it was fast, but I did not want it to be Kimberly versus Whitney for the entire season. That would have been, to me, I would have been bored. I would have been bored and I would have said, when are we going to move on? There's no way we're fighting over a man. It's not over a man. It's about respect. But at the end of the day, it is over a man. At the end of the day, it is over a man, guys. And I don't engage in that whatsoever. I did not care about Whitney and Canaan. I certainly don't care about Canaan and Kimberly. I'll talk about Whitney and Canaan part 2 a little bit later. But Kimberly makes such good television. That's why I can't hate her. Every scene with her is, who else would go and buy a strap because it's her first time having sex with a bisexual man? Who else would do that? Nobody else in television history, I think, would do that. Only Kimberly Finkel would, and only somebody named Kimberly Finkel would do something like that. And that's why I can't hate her. That's one of the many reasons why I can't hate her, because she's just so entertaining. Like Bela is a different type of goofy. Whitney is not nearly as goofy as the rest of them, except when it comes to certain things. But Kimberly is just goofy, and Kacey really clocked her. Was like, you're so silly. Because she is so silly. I do like that boy from Insatiable for her. I do. They definitely were not, I don't really still think they are too compatible. It seems like he's coming, we're getting a runaround, we're getting a callback for him, which is interesting because they typically don't do that. It's typically like a one and done with the guys, and I'll talk about that later because you guys like to forget that the guys are usually one and done. But that's besides the point. But they're doing a lot of like circling back this season. I do like that boy from Insatiable for her. Sue me if you must. Sue me if you must. I think they're cute together, and I think it's somebody different from Kimberly because let the record show let the record show she tried to date somebody who was identical to her in literally every single way, and he was a fucking asshole. Every single man. Like, I was gonna say maybe not the insatiable boy, but he literally left her high on drugs. He literally abandoned her being high on drugs for the first time. He's included in this ain't shit category as well, because you get somebody high and then you abandon them? Who raised you? Nobody, clearly. We all watched Insatiable. Nobody raised him. But her twin was a fucking menace, and I actually believe, like, I should have seen Lila slap the shit out of him. I deeply resent the fact that all she did was yell at him. Did she kick him in the dick, or did I make that up to make myself happier? If she did, thank you to whoever wrote that in, but I might have made that up to make myself feel better. I don't know, it's been a couple of weeks since I watched it. That man, first of all, all the people in that class, Kimberly in that class, one thing Kimberly will do is fuck up her relationship with people before they even start. She is just so peculiar. She was going this season, was like, I'm getting into this advanced seminar. I'm gonna do everything. She made that man cry. I didn't care when she made that man cry. I thought he deserved it. They were all trying to bully her out of it. Was it a bit much? Yes, it was a bit much what Kimberly did to them. She could have stopped after talking about, oh, is it your daddy's money who helps you? She could have stopped after that, but Kimberly Kimberly never half-asses anything. And for that, I have to respect, even insults. She always goes above and beyond in every aspect of her personality, of her work, everything. And she stays true to herself by consistently setting the bar higher and higher for chaos. And I have to respect that. The man from the class, fuck you. Nudes? Oh God, I was so stressed out. One thing Kimberly will do to the viewer is stress them out. She's deleting old Cinco de Mayo post on her Instagram from when she was 13 years old, and she's sitting there contemplating sending a nude picture to this boy that she doesn't even know. Kimberly, you're stressing me out so bad. Kimberly, you're stressing me out so bad. I don't know how that happened. And that ain't shit little boy didn't want to delete it. And you know, Lila had to do what she had to do. Lila's a real one. Because, don't let me meet that. I don't remember his name. I don't need to remember his name. His name is irrelevant. Don't let us meet in a dark alley. Don't let it happen. But something that I also thought was showing growth from this season from Kimberly, despite her starting off incredibly shaky when it came to a lot of our views on her. Kimberly went to jail. Kimberly went to jail for taking a stand against something and didn't care about it, how it was going to impact her future Supreme Court justice thing. She was so annoying with that. Everything she was doing. Well, I can't do this. Well, I can't do this. Well, I have to take this. It was too much. It was too much. But again, Kimberly is too much. Like, her name is Kimberly Finkel. She literally is too much. But it took her 3 seasons. She finally believed in something, followed through with it despite any consequences. Now, jail, I don't know. See, she can never half-ass anything. She always has to full-ass everything to get exactly what she wants. But I respected it this time. I absolutely respected it this time. And we're gonna see where Kimberly goes from here, because she's on scholarship. I really can't, my heart can't, my nerves cannot take another one of them being close to expulsion. Bela nearly sent me into a panic attack a year ago. My nerves can't take it anymore. My nerves cannot take it anymore. But that's Kimberly. Next up is, speak of the devil, is Bela. Bela and Whitney's arcs were my absolute favorite this season. I was not expecting that. I was terrified for her RA era. I was like, Bela, are we sure this is what's best for you? You're in a really, really deep, really dark place. She was below rock bottom at the end of last season. Below. so far below. She was crawling out of the pits of hell trying to get back up from where she put herself. It was self-sabotage after self-sabotage after ego. It was, last season was traumatic for me. I cannot imagine what it could have been like for Bella herself. So she started off her RA journey being like old Bella, and that shit didn't work. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. You got bullied by a freshman. It wasn't working for her at all. Her and Taylor's relationship was interesting. To me, it gave big sister, little sister. I didn't see this love triangle y'all were talking about. I knew Bella. I saw the gay a mile away. Like, I'm surprised it took 3 seasons for them to be like, oh, this is 100% a queer character. I am surprised about that. But I didn't see Taylor liking Bella, and I certainly didn't see Bella liking Taylor in that way. Maybe y'all are seeing something that I'm not, but I'm not seeing what y'all seeing, and I don't think what you're seeing exists. But that is besides the point, and that is my personal opinion. Bella having to help Taylor work through her freshman year and her experiences, because Bella was right. She ate me up because I was like, you are not qualified to be an RA. And then she started talking about why she wanted to be an RA, and I'm like, you might be the most qualified person on this earth to be an RA, because Bella made every single mistake humanly possible. It was so stressful watching her on these past couple of seasons, which is another reason why I need, especially Bella, I need to go and rewatch this entire show, because how far this young woman has come, it's actually incredible. And that's why this season was so like almost nostalgic to me, because one, I'm graduating from school. This show has been going on since my very first year of medical school. I've grown so much since then. These girls, my sisters, my everything, we're really locked in together. Bela, Leighton, Whitney, Kimberly even. Yes, I include Kimberly in that because she's part of the crew, guys. Kimberly's, you know, cuckoo-ness is what makes the crew the crew. And Kacey, you can join too, I guess. I'll include her. I do like Kacey now a little bit. The whole season I was very like iffy, but seeing her no, I think Kacey has so much depth to her that I don't get at all from Taylor. I liked Bella this whole time, but she stressed me out so bad. I could never say that she was my favorite character. She stressed me out so bad. It was actually like painful watching her scene. Last season specifically was every time a scene came on, I had to pause it before Bella started speaking, because I was like, what is she going to do next to destroy her career, her social life, and her friendships? It was, what will Bella do next? Derogatory, horrifying. But I've always wanted to root for her, but I'd have to root for her from a distance. Now I'm rooting for her right next to her, because her finally finding her own voice, finally finding her own comedic voice. Like, I cried. She's been doing what other people think she should do for so long, and now she's finally doing what she wants to do. I talk about something negative. Again, all the men this season were fucking garbage. Fuck, what's his name? I don't even know his name. I don't care about his name. Garbage, loser, never gonna be nothing, never gonna be. See, look at these nice guys. What have I been telling? What have I been saying on this channel for the past 5 years? Look at these nice guys. Beware of these nice guys. You know who else was nice? Satan. That's who else was nice. Who else was nice. You have to be wary of nice guys. And here's another example. First of all, him nearly blowing a blood vessel, aneurysm rupturing in his neck because Bella's had sex before? Let me call News 12. Where's my phone? My phone's not here. Let's call ABC, CNN, MSNBC. Let's call JW. Let's call them all. Let's call 102.7. Let's call them all, because Bella's had sex before, and you're dating somebody who's had a lot of sex before. Clearly this is breaking news. Clearly this has never happened before. Clearly this is uncharted waters, and we have to alert the presses. Loser activity. I knew then. The second he had that very strange reaction, I was like, no. First, when it first started was when he was dating another woman. And then all of a sudden, switch of a hat, was like, actually, no, I love you, Bella. I was like, noted. Wrote that down. Checked. Because That was rather fast. Then, when he finds out that Bella has had sex with a lot of people, which is Bella's choice, what Bella wants to do with her life, and she has every right to do so, and you have no right to judge her for it. It's her life, it's not yours. Very strange reaction. Did he apologize for it? Yes, but as soon as he apologized for it, he said something else that was terrible, assuming that she has all of the STIs in the world. Let me first start by saying, STIs, being diagnosed with an STI does not mean you're dirty, does not mean you're unclean, does not mean anything about you. It just means that you have an STI and you now need to seek treatment for that STI. That's all having an STI means. Unfortunately, in our society, there's a lot of stigma associated with STI and diagnosis of STIs and treatment of STIs. We really need to work, us as the new adults, we all are the new adults, I'm sorry to break it to you, have to work on destigmatizing and reducing burden and shame that comes with STI diagnoses. If you're having sex, STIs are a risk of sex. That's why we need to take the appropriate measures to protect ourselves and our partners against STIs. The way he ran, I literally think he skidded down S3x main quad. He must have rolled down the hill. He must have made skid marks on the road running to the clinic to get tested. You're a bitch. You're a loser. You're a dummy, bitch. What about Bella is the most chaotic person I've ever seen on television, and she's not very smart, but she's not that reckless. Even when she was about to like drop out of school, she was like, it's time I think I want to transfer. And the person was like, your GPA is too, that was one of the funniest scenes on this entire season. Your GPA is too low to transfer. Bella could have completely crashed out, but she was like, actually, I might try to turn it around. She's not that. She is reckless as the day is long. Who's to say she's not reckless about her sex life and about her health? That's a judgment. You're passing judgment onto Bella, and he was passing judgment onto Bella the second that he found out about any of this. His reaction was horrible. It was abhorrent, and he's goofy, and he's cute, and he's sweet, and that's who you need to keep a close eye on. That's who you need to keep a close eye on. Nice guys finish last. That's who you need to keep an eye on. I knew, dumb and goofy and dumber, I knew. But second, he was in that like a long relationship with that other girl. And then showed up at Bella's doorstep like, actually, I realized that I love you. What happened to your longtime serious girlfriend? We're done with the longtime serious girlfriend? You don't seem very serious. You don't seem very serious. You want to break up with your girlfriend, take a minute, breathe, relax, sit with yourself, sit with your thoughts, and then date Bella? No. But Bella leaped the chance. This is what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to have the nice guy. She's been dating, she's been dating a bunch of bums and duds and meanies and bullies. It's finally Bella's turn for the nice guy. She jumped at it. Why wouldn't she? This is what everyone's been telling her to do. And she knew something was off. But she just thought, oh, it's because I'm not used to a nice guy. And I did think so as well. But then I remembered back. I used my recollection, my memory to go back and think how quick he was to drop his longtime serious girlfriend that he swore he was going to marry. And then the truth came. The truth will set you. Come to find out, the second he learned his girlfriend has had sex with other people, he loses his mind. And someone's gonna say this in the comments. Someone's gonna say it's because she's had sex with a gazillion people. I don't think so. I'm gonna push back on that. I think if Bella had said she'd had sex with 3 people, he also would have been upset. I don't think it was a number. I think the number maybe made his reaction as visceral as it was, but I think he would have had a problem if Bella had said 3. I think this is the ownership. I want to own you. You're mine. You're nobody else's bullshit. That is a crock of bullshit. That is a red flag. And I hate that Bella had to go through that, had to be slut shamed by this man. Because she thought that this was what was best for her. Because this is what people have been telling her. Bella, you keep dating these meanies, these losers, these short white boys who are mean to you and steal your ideas and take your light and take your youth. But look what happened. He's dumb, goofy. So Bela's gay. Knew that, love that, amazing, brilliant. I would like a love interest that is not white. Sue me. The queer space at this school is very, very, very white. Like, overwhelmingly white. Even when Taylor went speed dating, I was like, they're concerned too. It was really spooky, ooky. And I know, like, I know, Mindy, you have a quota, but maybe we could change the tune. Maybe we could switch it up for at least like one relationship. Cause I'm very happy that Bela has found herself in so many different ways. I just would like to show what you can find yourself and not date a white person. I'll leave it at that. Lastly, my girl, my sister, Miss I have never been happier. First of all, moving out of that house. I was furious at the end of last season. I was like, I don't even care about the Whitney. I don't care about the Canaan of it all. Why are you moving into the sorority house? That's what I was angriest at Kimberly for. Not for the fact that she kissed Canaan, was for the fact that her kissing Canaan resulted in Whitney thinking that she can't live with them and she wanted to move into that sorority house. That was the scariest moment of my life. Coming in and watching the first episode and have her actually being in the sorority house and that wasn't a horrible dream that I had, that really frightened me. But she's free. Amen. She's free never to return again. That's one. I've never been happier that Whitney is getting the help that she so desperately needs and has needed for the past several seasons. When she was agreeing with the boomers at the parents' weekends table about mental health, I was scared for my life. And it took her a while to recognize that she needed help. Isaiah first had to tell her, she rejected that. She walked into the student mental. I really liked how they showed her relationship with mental health, especially her being the only Black main character on the show. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was really tasteful. And I thought it was really real and raw, especially when you grow up in families that that do not acknowledge mental health, from the way that her father was speaking at the table, even though he wasn't in her life all that often. That's beside the point. But I'm sure her mother also had very similar views, and to show that you can sort of overcome that trauma and you don't have to do the things that your parents did. You don't have to agree with your parents. You don't have to like think the same way that they do because that's the way you're taught. Like, you can figure out your own way, figure out your own life, and want better for yourself and want yourself to be emotionally more secure and emotionally more intelligent to help you move forward in life. And that's what Whitney was able to do. And it took a couple of tries. It's not automatic. One day I'm gonna wake up and say, oh, I'm emotionally intelligent, I'm gonna go to therapy, I'm gonna be emotionally whole and figure it out. Shit takes years. Shit takes a long time to actually work through and figure out. And I liked how they showed that in the season of The Sex Life of College Girls. I thought it was very well done. Whitney's like, struggle with her mental health and her very, very apparent anxiety when she told all of them and was like, I've been a little anxious lately. And they were like, duh. And she's like, wait, you guys could tell? And I was like, Whitney, everybody could tell. The woman at the mental health office could tell. She could tell. Because Whitney was just stressed all the damn time. And it was eating away at her. It was visibly eating away at her. And it was absolutely tragic. But I'm happy that she was able to get the help that she needed. Now let's talk about her and Isaiah. I'm always the one who's gonna tell you the honest truth. Y'all want Isaiah to stay because you want to fuck Isaiah. And I understand that. Look at him. I understand that. But that doesn't mean Whitney wants to, Bookies. That doesn't mean that Whitney wants to. It doesn't mean that Whitney wants to continue having sex with the billionaire's son. Doesn't mean so. Like, you want to, that's great. Go find you and Isaiah somewhere. They don't exist. That is the only unrealistic thing about this show. It's not that Kimberly keeps getting fine men. It's not that at all. It's a fact that so many attractive men exist within the 1 square mile of a college campus. That's impossible. That's literally factually inaccurate. 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 It's impossible. The college campus would combust entirely if that many attractive men existed in the same 1 square mile. That is the only unrealistic thing about the show. Kimberly can pull anyone she wants. She's pretty. The unrealistic thing is the percentage, the ratio of ugly to attractive. That is what's unrealistic about the show. But I'm getting back to my point. When you don't like Isaiah, Whitney thinks Isaiah is attractive. Whitney wants to fuck Isaiah. When you don't even want to talk to Isaiah, Whitney, any opportunity she had to insult Isaiah, to be rid of Isaiah, she took. Whitney does not like Isaiah. You like Isaiah. That's fine. We can't conflate your feelings with Whitney's feelings. Remember, most of the men on the show are one and done. We don't need to bring Isaiah back. Isaiah came and served his purpose. Put it in Whitney's head that she needs to go to therapy. He served his purpose. He's done. Let's bring the next one in. Let's bring the next fine man in. Yeah, let's keep it spinning. Let's keep it rotating. That's the sex life of college girls. Have you guys not been watching this show for the past 3 years? That is the sex life of college girls, like to a T.
I forgot to even mention when Isaiah and Canaan were like having a dick slapping contest in the gym. Isaiah is a very insecure little man. You got all that money, you look good, and you still insecure. It's kind of sad. I'm kind of like sad for you. I kind of pity you, and I shouldn't really pity you, but I did.
Okay, her and Canaan. Guys, don't shoot me. That test episode, which I loved, thought it was very different. I wonder what happened that had them have to film that in the way that they did. It was very different. Was it a COVID outbreak? I don't know. That's conjecture. I finally saw it for Whitney and Canaan in that test episode. Nail me to the cross. I did. I thought it was a fun and fresh. I just liked that episode in general. I'm sure there was a very particular reason why I had to do it that way, but I thought it was different and I really enjoyed it. That was the first time I saw it for Whitney and Canaan. That was the first time I saw it for Canaan, like personality wise. I thought he was actually really funny in that episode. So that pissed me off because that episode was also the first time that he apologized, or the episode right before was the first time that he apologized because he was bullied into doing so, because he was literally peer pressured into doing so. But like, that was the first time I saw it for him personality wise. That was the first time I saw it for their relationship. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Hate the game. Hate the game. He didn't need to come in that room being charming. It's actually his fault. This is all his fault. I'm done. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. He didn't need to walk into the room being charming. Nobody made him do that. Nobody made him do that. So this is actually all his fault and I am completely innocent. But do I support them now? I don't know. I think Whitney needs somebody else entirely. Let's bring somebody else entirely for Whitney, because I'm sick. I'm sick of the leftovers. I'm sick of the reheated microwave meals. I'm sick of it. I want somebody new, fun, and fresh. We need fresh fruits and vegetables for Whitney. But whatever, we might not get that. You know what Whitney needs? I think Whitney needs to be in a relationship with her therapist for the next season, and then we can come back to relationships at a different time, further down the road, because Whitney's needed help for so. They've all needed help for so long, but Whitney's needed help for so long, and I'm very glad she was able to do so. Canaan, will you help or will you destroy what we've built so far? Looking at your track record, it's giving destroy. It's giving destroy. You nearly broke apart a sisterhood. You nearly broke apart a sisterhood. Our sacred bond of sisterhood, you nearly destroyed it. So I have no faith in you, but you look really pretty this season. I never said I was a good person. I never said I had good morals, and I never said I was ethical. But Lastly, with Whitney, her fight for the student athletes, man, her coach, they should have jumped him. And they practically did. They really should have jumped him, had her taking steroid injections so she could keep playing, busting up her whole knee, messing up her entire knee for life. She'll have to be on crutches for the rest of her life because the coach wanted to win a championship. Them trying to intimidate her into continuing to play on a fucked up knee so they could win a championship. Y'all don't even have equal size locker rooms. Do you see? Because let's remember back to season 1. When they discovered, was that season 1 or season 2, where they discovered that the boys' locker rooms were like triple the size of theirs, even though they haven't won a championship in decades. But you want her to play on this bum knee so you can win a championship, right? So you can get the photo op, right? Whitney said no. And Whitney had like, and from the trend on TikTok, that trend with the 5 Seconds of Summer song, it seems that is commonplace. Are student athletes okay? Because it seems like absolutely not. And I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I had no idea. But what do we need to do to help you guys out? Because it seems like you're being abused. It seems like you're in an abusive relationship with your schools and possibly your coaches. What can we, as non-athlete, what can we do to help you? Because the things I saw in that trend, and then after watching this episode, I'm scared. Why? What? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I also like Whitney's like growth this season, because Whitney had been so lost for the past couple of seasons. Like everyone else, last season she was talking about how everyone else has a goal. I don't have a goal. Now she wants to do the STEM thing, and like I kind of liked seeing. I thought the whole STEM thing was gonna be like a fluke, because she was like, I'm just doing it just because. But it seems like she really likes it and like is interested in sort of the lab parts. Whitney, this season was. They kind of were forgetting what has been happening the past couple seasons. Whitney was not into STEM. She did it just because she wanted to do it. Whitney this season was acting like she's poor. She's not poor. She's a senator's daughter. Like she has money. Her parents pay the tuition with a check. So that whole thing with her and Isaiah very much confused me, because I'm like you have less money than him, but you still pay your parents pay your tuition cash. So it's not giving Kimberly and it's not giving Canaan. So that was definitely really interesting to me. But Whitney really had a goal and accomplished that goal, both with her mental health and the sort of student athlete thing. She was able to say like, no, I want to change this and I want to make this different for myself and others. And she was able to do that. I'm so proud of my sister. I'm just so proud of my girls. I'm so proud of my sisters. They've accomplished so much. They've come so far, and they have so much further to go, because the show needs to go on for 6 seasons minimum. And maybe we don't need to wait a year in between, but I know I'm asking for the world when it comes to that. So those are my thoughts on the characters of the Sex Life of College Girls. Favorite episode, as it is for every single season, was Parents Weekend. Every single time when they bring the parents in, it's too good. The dynamics are so excellent. They're I don't know, that writer's room, when it comes to those Parents Weekends episode, they're in there cooking with gas. Please keep it up. Please keep it up. And you guys need to tune in, because I need 3 more seasons minimum of this show, and I will blame you all if I don't get it. It's good. The season was good. The characters that you already know and love are still there, and their storylines this season were incredible. The new characters, flops, but also some endearing flops as well. Tune back in. We miss Leighton. We miss her dearly, but Leighton is inside us. Leighton is inside us. Leighton is there. Leighton is there. You can go watch the other 2 seasons for Leighton. Leighton is always going to be with us, inside us, in our spirits, in our heart. And the show is still good. So yes, those are my thoughts on the Sex Life of College Girls season 3. Let me know your thoughts. Did you also cry when Leighton left? We all did. We don't need to talk about that. We all definitely did. What are your thoughts on some of the new characters? You know, let me know favorite episode. It's gonna be Parents Weekend. It's gonna be a bunch of Parents Weekend in the comments, and you're all correct. But yes, those are my thoughts. Thank you so very much for watching. If you would like to follow my social media, my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, it's all going to be linked down below, as well as my Patreon. May or may not be a Cowboy Carter ticket giveaway on my Patreon going on currently. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a great and lovely time. I did, as the lights were changing and sabotaging me this entire time, and my cats were playing with every single loud toy, but we move and we recognize, because this is their house. It's not mine. It's not mine. Just in case you're mistaken, this is not my house. This is Cora and Zuko's house, and I rent the bed from them. So yeah, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day, week, month, life. Please stay safe. Put your mask back on. Keep your own health. Hold your own health close and dear to your heart, as well as the health of your friends and your community. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.